first car. As most of you might relate to, it is indeed a very proud moment. Now, I had done most of my driving in highways and in army cantonments where I was born and brought up. But 3 months of driving in Bangalore traffic with Bangalore roads has changed my perception of driving completely. Respected judges, Mr. Contest Chair, and my fellow Toastmasters, we are a very fascinating culture. If you look at it, we have 330 million gods. And really, if you look at it, it's not a bad thing, considering that we have one god for 3 people on the road. Imagine if we were a monotheistic culture. Our god would have been hopelessly overworked, trying to save everyone from killing each other on the road. Now, considering that I have had only one scratch in the past 3 months, that too, an Ola cab driver trying to overtake me on Marathali Bridge on a U-turn, I feel myself, I don't know why he was doing that, what he gained by the 10 seconds. Presumably, he was in a rush to sell his kidney to get the latest iPhone. But I consider myself qualified enough to be able to give you certain guidelines, certain 101s on how to drive in Bangalore and India in general. Rule number 1, drive where the gap is. If you go to a driving school or even to your parents, they'll tell you we are a right-hand drive country, in the sense that we should drive in the left lane and the right lane is for overtaking. You see, that right there is nonsense. In Bangalore or in most Indian cities, you drive where the gap is. If you see the gap on the left, you drive on the left. If you see the gap on the right, you drive on the right. And if you don't see a gap, just form a new middle lane. Next up, you can blow your horn anytime you like. In fact, if you have a musician in you, it's a very good way to rekindle that musician and experimenting different musics at different days. You can blow your horn when you're happy, when you're sad, simply when you're bored. Rule number 3, do not worry about pedestrians. We as pedestrians strictly adhere to the rule of crossing the road when the traffic is moving slowly, using our hands like this. So even if you by chance stop for a pedestrian on the road, chances are that you might get bumped in the back. Rule number 4, do not underestimate yourself. As Indian drivers, most of us follow the rule of karma, which is that you drive with your instincts and leave the rest to God and an insurance company. You could be a person like me who has just started driving, or you could be a person who has 20 years of driving experience. Both of us stand the same probability of an accident. Next up, if you by chance commit the glaring sin of taking out your car after it has rained, do not need to in any way worry about the puddles of water on the road. We as Indians are used to cars splashing water all over us, so you can just speed over them. Also, your focus should be only on the road. If by chance you see certain fascinating sights which would make great Incredible India posters, like cows on the road or overpopulated vehicles. I remember once I was in Chennai and I was in a shared auto which had 8 people at the back, 2 people on either side of the auto driver, and I was on top of one of them. I was happy throughout the journey because I'll be the first person who can escape in case of an accident. So if by chance, or you see buses, or where you see people clinging on to other people, clinging on to the last step of the bus, do not worry about these sights. You just focus on finding your next gap. Bangalore is also a bad place for speed junkies. I'll say this because in every 30 seconds, or the moment you reach 40 kilometers per hour, whichever comes faster, you'll encounter a nice speed breaker. And I'll say this out of personal experience. You'll worry about it once, twice, till the time your car gets bumped once, twice, then you don't worry about it. If you're really a speed junkie, and if you want to experience the true freedom of speed enshrined in our constitution, it is advisable that you take out your car after 9 o'clock, before 9 a.m., so that the cops are not there, and then you go on nice road or the airport road and speed your car at 150 kilometers per hour. Do not try the speed in the residential areas or in the road which we have just besides our campus, which links the Mahadevpura to the Bharat. Do not drive on that road. You will get fed out of the speed breakers. So by the end of the day, if you are in some way, if you're able to make it unscratched, unscathed, you, my friend, can give yourselves a high five. Thank you.